Hello everyone, it is day one of the IAE and it's taken a little bit of getting into to come to get on these servers right now because they're a bit of a dumpster fire with so many people trying to log on and check out things at the event. So like I said, day one IAE, it is Drake Day today, so we're going to go and see if we can have a look around the Drake show floor, if it's working, because like I said, I've only just managed to get on, and yeah, the servers have been really bad for a couple of hours. So we're going to have a look around, see if we can get on the Drake floor, see if we can have a look at the Drake Cutter, which is like Drake's beginner ship with some cargo room and stuff. We're going to have a look at that. We'll be able to see the Corsair on the show floor as well. And there should be a Mario Kart-esque racetrack for us to go and have a look at. Hopefully, we shall see. But this all depends, of course, on if we can get in and have a look around. So, follow me as we zip past this ship here. Don't know what this is. Looks like a cutlass. Is it a cutlass? Hard to tell. Oh no, it's a Hercules. It's just upside down. But yes, we're going to go down. We're going to go and have a look and see if we can have some fun with the Expo today. If the servers will let us. So we've landed in New Babbage Spaceport, and if you are new to the game or if you're just taking part in the free fly that has just started with the event, hopefully you can get in because the servers are working for you. But yes, there is a free fly going on that's going out throughout this event, so if you don't have a pledge package for the game, that doesn't matter. You can still download and you can still play. I assume there's going to be a code or similar that you have to enter and it will give you free ships. But if you've never been on a new server before, you get the New Babbage Spaceport Staff Dawn Chorus all lined up waiting for you here, as you can see. So yes, I will show you where to go after I litter around the spaceport. So, where do we want to go? We want to come in, if you've come from New Babbage Spaceport, if you spawn in New Babbage, just get on the tram to the spaceport, and you can see that this is very well signed. You can just follow these signs and it will take you to the Expo. So we come down onto the tram. We go through the customs. People in the chat saying they're unable to rent, so we'll see if we can grab a cutter. Maybe we won't be able to. Might just have to go and enjoy the Mario Kart in the golf buggies. You come down here and you jump on the metro loop. So take the elevator down into the subway, essentially, that shoots around Microtech. And just come out of the lift, into the metro loop. You can see, again, signs pointing you where to go. So normally we might go to the Aspire Ground. This time we're going to go to the Commons, which is the right-hand shuttle. And this will take us to the IAE, the War at Home. Oh, so the shuttle was still a minute behind. And this is where we want to be. So the next stop after the Commons is IAE. You can see we're being pointed in the direction. So this is the Tobin Expo Centre. I knew I'd forgotten the name of it. IAE 2952. And I haven't been up here during the PTU, so this is the first look at this different one for me. It's very red compared to last time. And in the lobby here, you can see we've got all these cool screens advertising things. You can fly in these areas here, and you can find merch for all various companies if you want to buy t-shirts and things for your characters. And then IAE merch here. I may have to grab some of these. I don't know if it will save it to the account permanently, which we'll have to see. But where we want to go, you want to grab a lift down and then go into the Expo Hall. Here we are. Much like the Invictus event, we've got this big amphitheatre, but this time we've got a Drake logo in the middle. EAI. Oh, it's backwards. So IAE official sponsor Drake, because this is Drake Day today. So you can see today's featured manufacturer, Drake Intergalactic. So we shall run around and go upstairs. I love the lighting change to like the aggressive red for Drake. What have we got in the main thing? So you'll see a common theme if you come here over multiple days, and you will see that you have the big section in the middle, and then we, just like the Invictus event, we have some halls off to the side, and you can see we've got maps. There's lots of NPCs stood in the way at the minute. And you can see where things are. So despite the very loud music, See downstairs, we've got the holo suites. So we've got a Kraken hologram, which is going to be in one of the little basement areas that I'll show you. And then Dragonfly and Mule, so they're there, of course, to rent. Off to the left-hand side, the right-hand side where we're looking now is completely empty. And then on the left-hand side, we've got the Cutlass series in our first left bay, and then to the far one, we have the Vulture, which we do want to look at, the Cutter, which we really want to look at, and then the Herald and the Buccaneer. So, and you are here, you can see. This map will change every day, and will guide you around the event. A very dumbfounded, suited gentleman. And you can see there's already players looking around. I don't know if we'll be able to rent, we'll see if we can. We have the old fan favourite Caterpillar, still a massive fan of that ship, still one of my favourite ships in game. I don't own one at the minute, but I did, it was one of the very first ships I had. And of course we have the Corsair, which I did a video on the other day. If you haven't looked at that, please go do so. This is a great exploration entry ship for Drake. Very well thought out, very well designed, looks absolutely gorgeous. It has people sat on top of it up there. And yeah, it's a really, really well designed ship. It's very, very Star Wars-y-esque in its asymmetrical design. I'm a big fan of it, even though I'm not going to have one myself. See if we can rent one, shall we? So, if you've never rented a ship before at one of these events during a free fly, simply step up to it, usually, and it will highlight, and you'll be able to click it to rent it, just like this. See? Doesn't want to let us do it with the Corsairs, so maybe this server is balked, and we may have to try another server to do it. But it's just to show you around for now. So it's coming up with a naught AUEC thing, like it wants to let me rent it, but it's not letting me do it. So we may have to try it later on a different server. Anyway, that's how you do it. You can see it's working for the Caterpillar as soon as we go anywhere near it. You can just hit rent. An error has occurred here, so yeah, this server's broken for the rent. If that's the case, just switch to another server and make your way back to the Expo. Once you've rented it, you will be able to use it for 24 hours, and then it will disappear from your ASOP terminal again. So easy peasy. You get to.
Blocking an active flight bay. Please vacate the vicinity.
I parked legally. Thank you very much. You'll be able to keep the ship for 24 hours. And then it will disappear from your inventory. So 24-hour rental on all of the ships that are in the hall that are flyable. And I add that little caveat because not all of them are, as you are about to see. So, we shall make our way around. This hall here, I believe, is the Cutlass Hall. Into a little third person. I'm not wearing my giant Among Us armour today. That flight suit. I'm just wearing the lovely subscriber leathery one that I like.
Initiating ship storage procedure. For your safety, please vacate the area.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for your cooperation.
In fact, this is the same armour and gear I was wearing when I was hunting for the Vandal helmet during the Halloween event. I never found one in the end, so I still don't have a Vandal helmet. Next year, maybe, if they do it again. So, as we come into this hall here, you can see that this is all the Cutlasses. So, we've got Cutlass Steel. I thought that was a black then for a minute, but it's not. I imagine the black's at the back, like the black stepchild now. Oh, great, and my vehicle's been impounded. So this server really is balked. Cutlass Steel, which is the dropship version with miniguns on each side. Cutlass Red, which is the medical variant, and Cutlass Blue, which is the sort of bounty hunting police variant with police lights on it. So yeah, all different variations of the Cutlass. The black's there at the back. Again, same with these. You can just wander up to them, highlight them, and rent them for 24 hours. Not on this server though, because this server's broken. You got another map over here. But where we want to be for today's event is this hall. If we run through here. This is a very, very big event, so it will take a while to run around, and that's why there's coffee stands and things, so that if your character does need food or drink, you can hydrate your character. There's some just by the hall as you come in. And Apex Hall 5 is where we want to be. IAE, the war at home. We'll go in on the left-hand side. There we go. There's one of the things we want to look at. That's the new cutter there. It's smaller than I thought it would be. So it's the first time I've seen one of these. But the one we want to look at and I'm really interested in is this, the Vulture. It is the Vulture, not the Venture. I kept calling it the Venture, and the Venture is the ship from Eve. That is the first miner that it really, really looks like. And you can see these guys already climbing all over it. So this here is what's going to be the first salvage ship in game that's going to be able to salvage when salvaging lands in 3.18, when we hopefully get our server meshing miracle. I think I've already looked around all of these in the video, so I'm not going to rush around it right now, because I want to sort of make the cutter the highlight of this video. But yeah, I'm very, very, very much looking forward to flying one of these and trying out the salvaging mechanics when we get them. More importantly, because once we've got the salvaging mechanics for this, we have the salvaging mechanics for the Reclaimer, which is going to be awesome, and I can already tell it's going to be awesome. See, this thing's like a single-seater thing, and is able to strip ships to salvage them and make some money. Making the money from it is going to be what's really important. Right then, over on the other side, just to round off this haul and what day one has to offer, we have the Buccaneer, just over yonder, which is the sort of standard pirate affair ship. So lots and lots of pirates use these ships. They're kind of like, I always find them like glass cannons. They're quite powerful with firepower, but they're built like cardboard and they're really easy to shoot down. And then we have the Herald, which has always been a fan favourite. This is very much a data runner ship. It's got lots and lots of computers and servers and things inside it. And you can see, it's just a cockpit with two giant rocket engines stuck on the back. And this is the fastest ship in the game, bar none, in a straight line. So, yeah, very much a data running, a blockade runner ship when we do get that kind of content. Good one to fly. Again, try it out, you can rent it. What we want to look at right now, though, is this. And this is the Cutter. This is Drake's entry-level ship, or their go at an entry-level ship. There was no kind of big fanfare with this. This is very much like a straight-to-flyable thing that CIG has done for this event. We always tend to get one. But it's their sort of industrial level, or their industrial-themed entry-level ship. So this is very much, like I said, it's not going to be, it is very much a starter ship. So we'll go and have a look around, shall we? It does look cool. I like the industrial look of this one. Drake's looks have evolved a bit to stop them looking so cardboardy like that. And whilst they still do look very basic on the inside, the design of them and all the various greebling outside and the shapes and the engine designs and things like that, they really have changed them a bit and made them look really, really finessed. So they have evolved in a very, very nice way. It wants to let me rent it, but it won't. Rent. Can we rent a Cutter? No. So I'm going to have to try this again on another server. But we'll have a quick look at the one on the ground whilst it's here, as this person is doing here in their Canuto armour. Oh, two people are looking at this. So we've got this is going to be very standard Drake fare, I think, inside. We have a cargo bay, which I have seen that you can get a mule in here, albeit probably not with a great deal of space afterwards. But much like the Corsair, if you shove a vehicle in here, you're not going to have room for cargo. That's just the way it is. Looking left on these panels, oh, excuse you, you can see you've got just gubbins for storing things, and then on the right, very much so, this is where your engineering section is. So you've got all your components, quantum drive, shield generators, power plants, all that kind of stuff. And it looks like system access, so maybe some kind of server as well. Shifting forward to this person hanging around in here, we have the toilet. Ooh, this person's moving around. We have the toilet and shower room, so serviceable shower. Bearing in mind, this is only a one-person vessel. This is meant for one person only, so you have a shower for yourself. And then you've got a little sleeping bunk as well, so this is habitation. And much like I noted with the Corsair the other day, no escape pods. Drake ships aren't very big on escape pods, so there's no way to get out if something goes wrong. So, yeah, manual override. Ooh, what's this for? I don't know. Maybe that's some kind of like gun rack. in here. Is this just storage? Yeah, so this is the storage for the ship's inventory. So two ways you can get into this. Lots of these new ships now that are being added. I imagine the Corsair has one as well. You can hit a handle or something, or a cupboard inside the ship, or you can just hit I, and you'll be able to see. Well, they haven't done it in this one yet. Maybe you do have to use the thing in this one. More you know. Maybe you have to be in the cargo bay. But yes, you can see external storage and internal storage will let you access the ship's inventory to store things. And then moving forward, we have the cockpit. Oh, very Drake, so it raises you up. So it looks like we've got some more components on this side. We don't have the giant analog buttons this time. We do have some sort of touch-screeny buttons. There's our gun rack, so if you want to store a couple of rifles in there. And then we have a pilot seat, which elevates us up, looks like the Cutlass series, and throws us into this cockpit. Not bad viewing angles for a starter ship. I like the little skylighty one that lets you see what's above you. A bit restricted on the bottom, but again, this is Drake's industrial look, so they aren't all about massively giving you lots and lots of visibility. That said, it is a cool looking ship. Very industrial, very Drake. I like the little winglets on the back end side. I'm trying to think what that reminds me of. Maybe a Valkyrie? Valkyrie's got the same kind of like winglets on the back end. But two powerful looking engines. Very much a... It feels like a sort of Space Marines-y ship. Like a Space Marine shuttle is kind of the vibes it's giving me. It looks like it's got like some giant handle for a winch or something on the front there, which is quite nifty. Yeah, I like it. Now we have to see if we can go and find one to fly, which is the most important thing. So let me see if I can go and find a server where the rental is working, and we'll go and give this thing a test drive. Okie dokie, rental achieved. Let's see if we can get in this thing and have some fun. Press these buttons here, which is very close to getting crushed. Maybe not the best button placement, but never mind. Okay, we're in our little cutter. Where's the button to close it? There it is. Now inside, I like the little hazard light flashing. I like the little side port windows as well. That's quite cool. We shall step forward into the drive. Oh, excuse me, into the driving seat. I've got some hiccups.
You are clear to launch.
We shall launch into the Microtech wilderness. We may pay a visit to one of the outposts just while we test the flight characteristics of this thing. So, we shall ascend. I'll pan my camera down a bit. Bring the landing gear up. This thing does have a VTOL mode. So a little press of K switches the engines, so we have a VTOL mode, kind of like the Cutlass Black. And we shall blast into the wilderness. So default flight speed of this thing, buzzing around, looks like 150-ish, 160 ms, depending on what we're doing. In atmosphere, where it's manoeuvrable. Bulldogs, it looks like it's got two bulldogs. Then typically size 3, size 2. What we're going to do is we're just going to dash over to the mountains here for a bit of fun, and maybe head to one of those outposts. So we want to go over there-ish. See if this thing can go any faster. Doesn't look like it, so yeah, 160 looks like our limit in atmospheric flight. Yeah, this thing has a very Space Marine feel to it. I like it. I like the exterior design. Very cool lines again. And it's not one of these things where you can kind of crap on these small ships and go, oh, well, they're rubbish, because that's not the idea. They're designed to be sort of a basic all-rounder for someone who's new to the game to just sink their teeth into a little bit of everything, bar the niche ships like mining and salvaging, you know, box delivery missions, maybe a little bit of combat, depending on what combat you want to do, or just cargo running, that kind of thing. And I think the ship is actually going to be a pretty good little deal for that. It's not expensive. I think it's like below $50 if I remember right. Especially if you're buying it on a war bond. Maybe a bit more expensive if you're buying it in a game package. But the idea of Drake ships is that I think something like their motto is that everyone can reach for the stars. And that's what the cutter is. It's just a basic starter ship to get you going. So let's fly around a bit. We should get out of the city limits soon so we can test fire these weapons. It's not the most manoeuvrable, but it's not going to be in atmosphere, I fear, because it is essentially a giant brick with two engines on it and two tiny little winglets for atmospheric manoeuvrability, which aren't going to help all that much, let's be honest. But yeah, I like it. So, in that sense, let's get this thing down and we'll have a look outside. This place looks like it's going to be very, very stormy, so this probably isn't the best idea. Yes, it's indeed very, very stormy, as you can see around that outpost, so we're not going to go down there. We'll put that idea to bed and we'll land on this peak here, where it is still very stormy, but there's a little vista of the city if the storm does decide to clear up some. There we are. Turn those noisy engines off. Again, very industrial sounding for Drake. I like it a lot. And for all you know, this could be you landing in the wilderness in some strange planet. And you finally touch down in your cutter for the night and you want to retire. So because this one is a flyable ship, we can kind of look around and see if there's anything else I missed whilst we were doing our little tour earlier on. See, we've got our toilet with our deployable toilet and a shower room. Shower room looks like a parabolic mic. And we, of course, like I said earlier on, we've got our storage there, so the internal ship storage. Something like 7 SCU of cargo in the back here with all our components. What's this for here then? Oh, okay, so they've got like retaining bars to hold them in. That's a nice little touch. And then we've got our little windows in the back. So, not the most scenic of views if you buy a ship and you want to look around where you've landed without opening the door and getting outside in your spacesuit. But that's what you pay for. And then we're into the wilderness of Microtech, where I'm getting blasted around in the storm with only 5 minutes of survival in my sort of leather suit here. I've got no helmet on, so my character's having to shield herself from the wind. But still, I like this ship. Basic starter ship, like decent starter ship fare, good Drake design, nice lines. Not my sort of thing, not something I will be flying, but still, I like it. Good effort from Drake. So that is going to round off this video, I think, for the IAE Day 1, sort of showing you how to get there and what you can find on the Drake floor. We'll go back inside out the wind, mainly because my character's going to die if I remain out here, and secondly because it's noisy and you probably can't hear me very well over it. Yeah, no, isn't that much better. And yeah, IAE Day 1 and the Drake cutter, the new Drake ship. So let me know what you guys think about these. She's not enjoying that wind. And we shall see what we get with the coming events. And of course, with the ships that are coming over the next few days, any of the ships, if you're taking part in the free fly, you can rent these ships, you can fly them for 24 hours, you can have some fun, blow them up, spear them into mountains and God knows what else, and play the game. The rental feature is working. It's just a bit clunky. I rented this one and then it sort of broke after that. It wouldn't let me rent any more ships, so yeah, you just have to sort of pace yourself with the renting and hope they balance the servers out a bit. They are getting absolutely hammered right now because of the free fly that's going on, and everyone who usually logs in to play Star Citizen coming out to check the event and rent the cutter and the Corsair and everything else going on, so you'll just have to bear with it. So until then, we'll see if we can find some Mario Kart go-karts to play around with for another video, and I shall see you then. Thank you for watching everyone, and I hope you enjoyed. If you like this and think I deserve it, please give it a like, consider subbing if you fancy sticking around. If you're thinking of taking part in the game, feel free to use my referral code on screen or click the link below for bonus in-game money that helps me out as well. See you in the next one.